Let's
So,
roll.
ja, wir sind heute hier für ein kleines Interview mit Mr. Ronnie Coleman, the King,
Yeah, buddy.
8-time Mr. Olympia,
Yes, sir.
and the winner of 26 IFBB Pro competitions.
Yes,
And
that's about right.
it's uncountable. You've achieved so much in your life.
Yes, I've been truly blessed, if I have to say so myself.
Yeah, you are, truly. Blessed by genetics and blessed by God.
Truly, truly blessed by the one and only hand of God.
Yeah. So you were born in Montgomery, in Louisiana, right?
Bastrop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know where Montgomery came from, but I don't think there's
No.
Montgomery, Louisiana. Is there? I was born in Bastrop, Louisiana, which is right
Louisiana.
next to Monroe.
Monroe, Louisiana. That's it.
Wait a minute. I even said that wrong.
Okay.
I was born in Monroe, Louisiana,
Monroe, yeah.
and raised in Bastrop, Louisiana.
Bastrop. Okay. So
The reason why I was born in Monroe is because the hospital in Bastrop was not built at the time.
okay.
Yeah, and that hospital came later. I'm not sure exactly when, but I was born in 1964. I think the hospital in Bastrop was 1970 because my sister was born at that hospital.
One of your sisters,
My
the
youngest
sister.
sister was
Yeah.
born, in that hospital.
So, and you have two older sisters?
I have two older sisters also, 61 and 62.
Ah, okay. So
we
quite
are-
close.
We are 60, 61, and 62.
Ah, okay. So
Right there next to each other.
then 64. Then you have one more sister and a brother.
Yeah. My brother is about 55. My sister is about 52, somewhere in
okay.
there. Yeah.
So
I'm
you
not
you took
sure
care for her.
exactly.
You were like 8 years old and you took care for her. And
Oh yeah.
as a baby.
Oh yeah. We had some of the greatest times ever, and I was kind of a bad kid growing up.
Really? You were?
Yeah. Thank God
Why?
I had the
Why?
mom that.
What did she do?
Yeah, I ask myself all the time, why was I so bad as a kid? I can only say that I was just had so much energy that I didn't know what to do with it. So I was mischief.
Really?
Got in a lot of trouble.
So you got a lot of fighting and
Not so much fighting, but just stuff around the house for the most part. Like I remember this one time. Oh man, I even hate to say this. My mom had gone to work, and it was just me and my sister at the house
Yeah.
alone. I forget where the others were, but she had left some. Oh man, what is it called? Toilet unstopper.
yeah.
And me and my sister kind of went in there, and we were, I don't know why, but we were eating it.
You were eating it.
Yeah.
So, and did you get sick?
Yes, we got kind of sick. It kind of messed up our stomach. I'm going to tell you why we were eating it. It looked like rice.
Ah, okay.
It looked exactly like rice.
Ah, not good. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to say it probably was rice, but poisonous rice.
Oh.
Yeah. And I remember, being in my mouth being real sore, and we had sores around my mouth.
Burning and
The burning, yeah. And my mom, when she came home and saw that, I think she lost it.
I can imagine that.
We got in a lot of trouble, and I remember her whooping us real good on that one.
Yeah. Did she often have to do that?
My mom, yeah, it was like a daily thing for a while.
Really?
There.
Really?
Yeah.
You were so bad.
I was so bad. My mom,
Can't imagine that.
She was the enforcer, and she did not play at all. And you got in trouble, she whooped you real good. Every time she felt like she had to. And sometimes the bad thing about it was, I guess she was so tired that, when she got off from work, she didn't feel like doing a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So she used to make us go outside and get these sticks to whoop us with.
Really? So you could decide which stick you take. And
I remember one time she told us to go outside and get these branches from the tree.
Whoa.
That she's gonna whoop us with. So I'm outside, and I'm looking, and I'm like,
for a small one.
For a small one.
yeah.
So I grab all these small ones and take them back in the house. She said, "Oh no,
it's too small.
Take those back out there and get me some bigger ones."
Really? And you did that?
So I had to do that.
Oh.
And she kept us in line. Most of the time, she would whoop us with these belts that were lying around the house. The belts that my dad wore.
Yeah.
So they were pretty big.
Oh, those leather belts.
Those leather belts. Oh. And I can still remember like it was yesterday. I got so many whippings that I finally said to myself, now, I don't know why it took me so long. I finally said to myself, you know what? If I stop getting in trouble, I won't be getting no whoopings no more.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it was like a light turned on in my head. And when I figured that out, I didn't get any more whoopings.
So?
Yeah, I think I was around maybe 9 or 10, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I always had a whole lot of energy. Matter of fact, I used to always, like clean the house.
Yeah.
I used to wash clothes.
Okay.
Because my mom had us doing all this stuff while she was at work.
Yeah.
So I would clean the house, wash clothes, and then it got to the point where, I wanted money so I could buy like candy and I would always ask my mom, she's like, boy, I ain't got no money. So I like, you know what? I'm going to figure out a way to get my own job, get my own money.
Yeah.
So what I started doing was there were a lot of pecan trees in Bastrop, and they were everywhere. I mean, you could just walk down the street and there would be one on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. So I would start knocking down these pecans from the tree and taking them to the liquor store.
Really?
Where they sold alcohol.
You sold those?
And I would sell those, make money. Well, that got kind of boring. So
okay.
They had these bottles that they would, I guess they called it it was recycling.
Yeah.
So we would take those bottles and they would give us like, depending on the size of it, it would be either a nickel or sometimes it would be a dime.
A dime, yeah.
So I would take those bottles and sell them.
Okay.
And then it got to the point where I got tired of that, so I was like, I need to make more money so I could, buy me a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we had our own lawnmower, I would always use it to mow the grass. And I'm like, man, if I had my own, because my mom ain't going to let us use the one we got.
Yeah.
I could go door to door and ask people. So
I
finally made enough money to
start
buy
your own
my
business.
Own lawnmower, to go door to door.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you buy one?
I bought one and made pretty good money.
Really? Ronnie the lawnmower man.
Yeah, the lawnmower man. I kind of liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it.
It's a nice job.
To the point where I made pretty good salary. You know, I
Really?
was able to buy like my own tennis shoes because my mom would always buy us the cheapest.
Yeah.
And I didn't like those at all.
So we're always like independent and your
And I
own guy.
got tired of asking her for money for
yeah.
stuff. And then after a while, it came to a point where, you know, all these jobs kind of would get old, you know, after a while. So
Like-
the next job I had was working at a grocery store.
Ah,
But
okay.
I would always go to this store to buy like gum, cookies, candy, all that kind of stuff. So I just happened to be in there one day, and I talking to the guy, and I'm like, "You need somebody that clean up around here?" He's like, "Yeah." So it started out with me just sweeping the outside, you know.
Ah, okay.
And then I'm like, he would pay me a quarter a day.
Whoa.
Back then, a quarter was a lot.
A
'Cause
lot,
you could
yeah.
buy a soda, which was about a nickel. You could buy a drink, which was like a dime. So everything was pretty cheap. You know, I'm from the old school, as you can see. So I started working that job around 10 years, when I was 10 years old. Because, like I said, I started on the outside sweeping. Then I would go inside and mop the store and sweep and then mop. And then he let me start at stocking.
The groceries and
Yeah, the groceries and then the drinks and all that.
yeah.
This place sold alcohol. It sold beer. Then after a while, he got a liquor license. He started selling liquor and everything, you know. This was one of the major convenience stores in the city.
Yeah.
So back then, they didn't have a lot, you know, like they have now. They didn't have,
Of course.
like
It's
they
all
had now.
smaller.
Now they got one every 100 or 200 yards.
Yeah.
Back then, they didn't only just had this one store, so
Yeah.
it was pretty profitable. Well, you know, I finally worked my way into the cash register. Well, I was able to, I think I was about 13, 14 years
Yeah.
old by this time. Well, I was able to, you know, work a shift, you know.
Yeah.
Because most of the time it would just be an hour. I would just come in, stock everything, sweep the floors, and then leave.
Leave, yeah.
But when I started doing the shift work, well, I was working the cash register. I would work from like maybe like, I think the store closed around 10 o'clock at night. So I would go in right after school by about 4 o'clock
Yeah.
and work all the way to like 10 o'clock.
Like 6 hours, yeah.
6 hours. And it got to the point where I got so good, you know, I started closing the store up and everything.
He trusted you. And
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they trusted me and he gave me the key and everything to it. And I worked that job until I graduated college.
Really?
Once I graduated college, of course, I left
So
town.
you went to GSU?
Yeah, Grambling State University.
Yeah,
In Grambling, Louisiana. Got
So
my degree.
this was not that far from your hometown.
No. It was only like 30 minutes
Oh,
away.
okay. Oh, okay.
Because I used to go like every 3 days. I would go to the chiropractor there
Yeah.
because I hurt my back, you know,
Yeah.
playing football.
Football, yeah.
So I would go to Grambling every other day to get this chiropractic treatment. And it would take me about 30 minutes to go to get there.
Ah, okay.
So I ended up getting my degree in accounting. To be honest with you, I started out in management because when I first got to college, I had no idea what I was going to major in.
Yeah.
So I started asking around, like,
Did
what
you-
are you majoring in? And everybody that I talked to said management, most of it.
Yeah. Did you just leave high school and just go to college because you had good
Exactly.
notes, or did you like get a scholarship for football?
No, I did not get a scholarship.
You achieved it all by yourself.
Nobody got a scholarship in football.
Really?
Nobody. And I don't know why, because I thought we were pretty good.
Yeah.
I made like all district, all state,
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I made all these honors and
Middle
still
linebacker.
no, huh?
You were the middle linebacker.
No.
Not only.
I was defensive lineman and
Defensive.
offensive lineman. But when I
okay.
went to
On
college,
both
I
sides.
was a little bit too small to play there. They
Yeah.
had the real big guys playing that
Yeah,
position.
yeah.
So when I got to college, I played middle linebacker.
Yeah, but it's a really important position.
Yeah. I was like the quarterback of the defense. I
Yeah,
called
yeah.
all the plays.
You called the plays and you have
all
to
the
watch
signals. I did all the signals.
Yeah.
So I was like, like I said, the quarterback of the defense.
Yeah.
So I had to learn a lot. I mean,
Uh-huh.
the playbook was really thick, and I can remember like it was yesterday. I'm like, man, I got to learn all these plays for the football field. and then I got to go to class and learn all those.
And how did you get into
Stuff.
accounting? Just why didn't you take something else?
This is how I got in accounting. So, like I said, when I got there, first of all, I had no plans whatsoever after high school. And all my friends was like, we going to Grambling. So I'm like, I ain't leaving me here. So I went to Grambling with them.
Oh, of course.
But only thing was, since I didn't plan it like that, I had no idea what I was going to major in. Because I just went to college because that's what all my friends
That's
would
what
say.
everybody does, yeah.
Yeah. So when I got there, I had no idea what I was going to major in. So I asked around, and most of the people I asked said management. So I'm like, that sounds good to me. So while I was in management, we had to take these accounting courses.
Yeah.
In every accounting course, I made straight A's. And I was like, the smartest kid in the classroom in all my accounting classes. And one day, one of my instructors came to me and said, you're doing pretty good in this accounting. You should probably think about changing your major to accounting. It's like accountants make real good money in this way, more than what somebody in management would do. So I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So I changed my major to accounting.
Yeah.
And to make up for it, I had to go to summer school in order to graduate on time because, by this time I had taken, too many classes in management to get a degree in accounting. I had to take other classes.
Yeah.
So I made up for it by going to summer school. And man, summer school was different, a whole lot different than, regular school. You go to class every single day. You have to be in there for like 2 hours a day. And best part about it was shortened. Summer school only lasted for about maybe, I think, 2 months, whereas the semester was like, 4 months. So you was kind of like doing double the amount of work in a short amount of time.
But more compressed, like.
Yeah,
so.
more compressed,
Yeah.
like. But I ended up graduating on time with all my friends, and then because I had changed my major to accounting, I was still able to graduate with honors. And the honors system we had was cum laude, which was 3.0 to 3.5, I think.
Yeah.
And then magna cum laude was 3.5 to 3.7.
Yeah.
And then summa cum laude was 3.8 to 4.0. We was on the 4.0 grade point scale.
Yeah.
And I was able to graduate, cum laude, which is not too bad, because we used to tease each other. I used to teach my friends about graduating cum laude because I'm like, I was a whole lot smarter than y'all. At least I graduated with honors. cum laude.
Yeah, at least.
Whereas y'all graduated, thank you, laude.
But you,
Just the same
but you had a
thing.
job, and you
Nope.
also played football.
Yeah, I did have a job when I was in college. My job
You
was
stopped working at the grocery store.
no. I only worked that during the summertime.
okay.
But my job, what they call work study, which helped pay for our schooling.
Yeah.
My job was working for the police department. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I had a job working for the police department, and all I did was write tickets all day.
Okay.
Parking tickets.
Really?
Because, you had to have a certain kind of permit to park on campus.
Of
and
course.
park in certain spots. So I would just walk around, in the parking lot, and everybody that didn't have a sticker,
So you were You were
I
just
would put a
walking around
ticket
the
on.
college campus and
Yeah, exactly. I would
watching
put
cars.
a ticket on the
okay.
car. And
That's a good job.
Yeah, it was an easy job too.
But
and then
the other guys might not like you. The other students.
They never saw me.
Okay.
Because they were in class when I was
Okay.
doing this. So
Okay.
they never saw me doing it. Because I was never confronted by nobody.
Good.
Never confronted by nobody. But I also helped on the runs. Like, we would have to escort people to the bank to drop off money and stuff like that. So I also did stuff like that.
Security.
Yeah. So I call myself kind of like a gopher, go and do this, go and do that, like a gopher. So I didn't have no real power. I didn't have no gun and badge and all this. I didn't have no uniform or nothing.
Yeah, but
I was just, like I said, a gopher.
Yeah.
But it was for the police department. Well, I didn't get that job the next semester. The next semester, I ended up, they only had certain jobs that you can work, and sometimes you could pick what you wanted to do. Well, they had this one job that was in the journalism department, and it was working for the school newspaper. And I thought to myself, that seemed like a pretty exciting job. I'll take that.
Okay.
So I ended up, writing stories.
what about?
Okay, I would go to like the football game,
Yeah.
and I would write about, what happened,
Yeah.
who scored.
You were involved in that, so you played. So
Yeah, exactly. And so I knew the guy.
you knew it firsthand.
And I would write down the stats and all that kind of stuff, and I would just make a good story out of it.
Yeah.
Because I had a guy who was a great sports editor, and he taught me proper writing techniques, proper English to use, and all this kind of stuff.
Good.
And I worked that job so long that the next semester they appointed me sports editor.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
my job was to edit. The sports editor, you have to read all the stories.
Yeah.
edit
The other
them,
guys are
and
writing.
Yeah. You had to okay everybody's story. So that became my job.
Cool.
But the hardest part ever about that was putting together the newspaper.
Yeah.
We had to measure out how a story would fit on a page.
Yeah.
So you got this one page, and you have to measure how long the paragraphs were. You had to measure how long the ads were.
Yeah. And without computers.
Yeah, exactly. And it was the hardest thing ever to do. To be
Can
honest
imagine
with
that.
you, I had to be shown how to do it.
Yeah, of course,
And
yeah.
I really never got a complete understanding of it, to be honest
Okay.
with you. So my, supervisor always did it for me.
Oh.
Because, like I said, it was kind of complicated.
Yeah,
And,
I guess, yeah.
I mean, I thought that my only job was going to be just editing stories and stuff like that. No, I had to actually put everything together on this one page and make it fit.
Yeah.
So it had to be coordinated. So your ads would go in a certain spot, the stories would go into a certain spot, and it all had to fit on that one page. And it was the hardest thing ever to do, but of course it always worked out in the end because she was so good, the supervisor was.
But you were quite busy. You had a long day.
I was quite busy because at the same time I was still going to class every day.
Yeah.
I was studying every single day. Mm-hmm. There was not a day that I was in college where I did not study. So
like training today.
I would go to class every single day, and remember, I don't know if I ever told you. No, I never told you this. But the coach of the football team would wake us up every morning.
Really?
With a bell. He would come to your door, ding, 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 ding. Get up. Wake up. It's time to go. Go to class. Yeah, you got to pass. Okay. You want to play football. And he would stay there until you got out of bed and went to the bathroom.
Really?
Yeah, he would just stand there. Get up, get up. I ain't leaving until you get up. Go to the bathroom and come back.
So he was really taking care for your studies.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only for the football.
Yeah. He made sure you went to class each and every single day. He's like, I ain't giving you this scholarship for free. You got to go to class. You got to do your work. You got to do your homework, everything. You got to pass these classes. So reason why he knew that you went to class because you had to go to breakfast every morning and get your name checked off on a list. And if you didn't go to breakfast, you had to run sprints after practice. So
extra training.
The hardest thing in the world for you to do was to have to practice for like 3 hours, and you were totally exhausted, and you think that your day is over with. But you forgot that you didn't go to breakfast and get your name checked off. So you had to run sprint for like another 30 minutes or so.
Really?
Yeah. So
the coach was really strict.
After one day of missing, get your name checked off, you never did that again. So it was pretty rough in school for us. 'Cause like I said, I had to go to class every single day. I had to study every single night, and I had to practice every single day. And they fed us good. They fed us real good. We had steak every single day. Steak and potatoes, chicken.
Like today.
We were treated like kings. That's for sure. We ate really good. Every time we had a game, we had the best steak and potatoes you ever want to get.
Good.
And it was a hard life, but it was also a good life. But like I said, you had to go to class every single day. You had to go to practice every single day. But you got the good perks to go right along with.
So you enjoyed your college time.
You enjoyed the college life. And I try to tell anybody that would listen that you have to go to college. Yeah. You have to experience that independence that you you go through in college, because after that, you're on your own.
Yeah, your life starts. Yeah,
get out there and take care of your responsibilities, because nobody's going to do it for you. But I would tell anybody that would listen that those 4 years of college were the best time of my life.
That's good.
Because, like I said, I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And
did you party a lot at the weekend?
Not that much.
Okay.
I would party every now and then, but to be honest with you, I was so committed to graduating that I didn't party like other kids did.
Yeah.
Because I remember plain as day, everybody was running up and down the hall yelling, "Toga, Toga." And I'm in the room studying, wishing I could go to that toga party. But I was so committed, and I wanted to be the first one in my family to get a college degree that I sacrificed, not going to a lot of parties.
So was there ever the idea that you might be a football professional player going to the NFL?
I thought that's what I was going to do. That was my dream, to be a professional football player. And I thought I was going because I remember talking to the scouts from one of the teams. And
Philadelphia Eagles, right?
Eagles, yeah. And he was like, "I'm going to be watching you, and we thinking about drafting you." So I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm going to finally get my chance to go and play for the Eagles and play some professional football." Well, somehow along the season, I remember getting injured. First, it was my back.
Mm-hmm. In a game?
Yeah, in the game. And then it was my neck. Like in practice one day.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
had to sit
often,
out.
yeah.
I couldn't play. And I didn't get good tape. I think I started the first, like my senior year, the first 4 or 5 games, and then I ended up getting injured, and I missed about the next 4 or 5 games.
Oh,
and
that's
we
a lot.
only played like 10 games. So after the school year was over with, and when the draft came around, I didn't get drafted, and I'm like, oh, bummer. And I remember one of the scouts coming to me like saying, "Man, I can get you a spot on the team. All you gotta do is just go out there and try out." I'm like, "Dude, I ain't going out there and trying out and wasting my time. I mean, they already drafted the guy that they want to play."
Yeah.
So I didn't go, and plus I was still, wasn't completely healed, from the injuries. So I'm like, I got a college degree. I'm going to just take my chances on that. And when I graduated, didn't have a job, but my roommate, who I went to high school with, we used to do everything together, me and my roommate. We would even ride together to school, every day. He would drive his car like 2 or 3 days a week. And then I would drive my car like 2 or 3 days of the week. But most of the time we took his car because he had a brand new car, and I had this 75 Nova. But most of the time we took his car.
Okay.
And, so he had a job working for Sherman Williams, I think, was the name of the company. It was a paint company, and they sold paint and all that kind of stuff that they do to, paint houses or whatever. And I like, okay, you got a job. Well, I'm gonna go down there with you and try to look for one. So when it came time to leave, we left we graduated in December. We all graduated together. I still remember the day we graduated. It was December the 19th, 1986. And we left for Dallas. It was like January the 10th, somewhere around there. So it was right after.
So you both in the car and
going
to Dallas.
Driving. Well, I had my own car. He had his own car, of course.
Yeah.
And they got an apartment, and it was me, him, another guy that we went to school with, and his 2 brothers. So how many? That's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 5 of us in one apartment.
5 guys.
Yeah, I slept on the floor.
Really?
Yeah, I slept on the floor because I was like the homeless guy.
Okay.
And I remember looking for a job for about like 3, 4 months. And in that time, my car broke down. I had that, remember the 75 Nova?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it kind of gave out on me. So I had to get a new car without a job. But they had this incentive program at the time. You could buy a new car and the first payment wasn't due until 90 days after purchase. So I bought this new car because, like I said, the Nova gave out. And my 90 days was coming up in about a week's time. So I'm like, oh man, I got to get something. I got a car note that's due in a week.
You needed the money, yeah.
I needed the money bad. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I got the classified ads, and I started looking for jobs in accounting. And I went on a lot of interviews, and nobody really hired me. But at the end of that week expiring, I interviewed with Domino's Pizza.
Domino's Pizza.
And they offered me a job.
Really?
And reluctantly, I took it.
What did you do?
It was in the management program.
Okay.
You started out like assistant manager, and you worked your way up to head manager,
Yeah.
in which you ran your own store.
Okay.
But the training part of it that lasted for about at least 6 months. It took at least 6 months to get your own store. Well, needless to say, my 6 months went by, and I didn't get my own store. And so in the meantime, I'm delivering pizzas and making pizzas. And,
So you can make a really good pizza, I assume.
I could make a damn good pizza. And at the end of the night, I had to do all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. Drop the money off at the bank, and all that. Make the bank deposits, because I added everything up at the end of the night.
So,
And I did that for about 2 years.
but you had the money to pay for your car.
I had to pay money to pay for my car, and that's why I kept that job. Well, after doing that for 2 years, it got to the point where I just couldn't take it no more. I got a degree in accounting. I graduated at the top of my class with honors, and nobody would hire me. Every time I went on the interview, they would say, well, we kind of need somebody with experience.
Yeah.
Well, you give me a job.
I get experience, yeah.
I can get some experience.
Yeah.
But I can't get no experience. You don't give me a job. But they didn't want to hear that.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, man, I gotta find something.
Yeah.
So I tried to hang in there and do the best I could with, what I had. And it finally came to a point where I said to myself, this is not working. This accounting thing is not working. I've gone on probably about 50 interviews. I'm getting a classified section every weekend, because that's when most of the people advertised for jobs. It was the Sunday paper, and it was the biggest, thickest classified section ever. So when I would get it every week, I noticed that the police department was always hiring. They had the biggest ad there.
Okay.
And my friend used to tease me all the time, like, man, you need to apply for that police department. I'm like, dude, you crazy. I ain't working in no police department. He's like,
You got a college degree, yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the only job you're gonna get out there. Ain't nobody else hiring you in the county. I'm like, no, I'm not working for no police department. And finally, after going on all these interviews, getting all these rejection letters, because they always answer you somehow or another. I finally came to the conclusion, you know what? Working for the police department may not be as bad as it sounds.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna see if I can get hired on at the police department, because everybody was hiring.
Yeah,
Just about every department in the DFW area was hiring. So I went and I took the test. It was a written test, of course. And for some reason or another, I failed.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, what? I can't pass the test? It's got to be something wrong with that test.
Yeah.
Because you had to have like a 50, and I ended up making like a 48.
Oh,
So,
really close.
Yeah, really close. I'm like, no, I'm not giving up that easy. So I go to the next, the next city, which was close to that one, and I take the test again. Well, about halfway through it, I had to go to the bathroom real bad. And I talked to the test administrator. I'm like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom real bad. You think I have enough time to, go to the bathroom and come back and finish? He's like, I don't know, but you're only allowed this amount of time. So by the time, because I had to go really bad, by the time I went to the bathroom and came back, time had expired.
Yeah.
So I failed that test.
again, yeah.
I'm like, man, it must not be meant for me to get hired on at the police department. But I'm like, I ain't giving up that easy. So the next city I came, which was actually the one that hired me, was Arlington, Texas. I did the written. I passed it with like straight flying A's, straight colors. I mean, no problem at all. You had to write this paragraph, this long paragraph, a story. Like you had to write a story, and then you had all these multiple choice questions. I aced everything. And then after that, they had you to do like a physical agility test.
Yeah.
Of course. That's
easy.
Easy. Yeah. All you had to do was climb a wall. You had like a bench press. You had a leg press. Of course, I aced that really. You had to do a certain amount of push-ups. It was like, they gave you a minute.
Yeah.
And I forget how many you had to do.
Maybe like 30 or something.
Maybe like 30 or 40, somewhere in there. Well, I broke a record. I did 125.
Really?
In a minute. Yeah.
Whoa. That's really fast.
Yeah, that's really fast. And then you had to do this leg press. Of course, I did the stack. Bench press. Of course, I did the stack. It was a machine,
Yeah.
And it was a universal machine anyway. And you had to do, what was it? Sit-ups.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Lying down. And
Yeah, I broke the record again on that, too. I think I did. You had to do like 20 or 30. I think I ended up doing like 60, 70, something like that.
Yeah.
Sit-ups ain't nothing for me. So next after that was the psychological test. Pretty much aced that. Background, it was pretty easy too. It was kind of hard in a way because I was getting off from work at Domino's Pizza, and the police department was next door talking to my neighbors. I'm like, what are y'all doing here? He's like, well, we was talking to your neighbors to see what kind of neighbor
Guy you are.
were.
Yeah. Okay.
And man, they went back to Grambling. They talked to all my instructors.
Really?
Yeah.
To your coach?
Yeah, the coach, everybody.
Really?
I'm like, man, this thing is really in depth. Then they went and talked to my neighbors.
It's a real detailed background check.
Yeah, it was a real background, thorough. Of course, I aced that, and then we had to take polygraph, where they ask you all these questions. You ever stole anything? You ever killed anybody? You ever robbed anybody? No, I ain't did none of that. I pretty much aced that too.
Yeah, good.
I aced everything, and I remember the hardest test of all was the what was it? It was a test where they called it background test, where they tested your ability to answer questions under duress, under stress. And there was about 6 people in the room. They had like a psychologist, they had a captain, they had a sergeant, and they had like 2 other people in the room, and they would just fire questions at you
to see how you react.
How you reacted. And man, they had me in there for about 2 hours.
Really?
2 hours of asking me all these questions. Would you arrest your mom? Would you write her a ticket? Would you, they gave me like scenarios where somebody had threw a bomb in a location and they was running, and then would you chase the suspect, or would you help the people, that just got bombed?
Yeah.
I forget what I said, but
Yeah, you have
it
to say
came
something.
to the point where the guy was like standing on the table screaming and yelling at me, you know you would do this, you know you would do that. I'm like, no, I know exactly what I would do. I was so stressed after that thing was over with. The guy came to me, he's like, well, we're going to let you know in about 2-3 weeks whether you got the job or not. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you don't even have to call me and let me know I got the job. I know for a fact I didn't get this job after going through all that screaming and yelling and fussing at me and telling me I was wrong on that scenario. I was wrong on that scenario. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I remember I got home. My mom was talking to me. You think you got the job? I'm like, no, Mom, I didn't get the job. I didn't get that job. They put me through a ringer.
Yeah.
I mean, that interview was the hardest interview I'd ever had in my life. She's like, why? They had all these people in there. They was asking me all these questions. And they were screaming at me and yelling at me, saying I had the wrong answer about this and about that. Well, the phone rang while I was talking to my mom.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, oh, yeah, this is so-and-so from the police department. You got the job.
Really?
I'm like, huh? I'm like, is this real? He's like, yeah. He's like, you hired.
Yeah.
Man, that was
Because
the biggest relief ever.
they just check that you are a great guy, but and they can teach you the right things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I got the job. They 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They called me as soon as I got home. I'm like, wow, that's why I didn't believe him, because I thought you said it's gonna be 2 or 3 weeks. He's like, no, I just said that.
Just.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
So needless to say, that was the most intense interview I had ever gone through in my life. But it was the biggest relief ever when he called me and said I got the job.
You got a job,
because
yeah.
I thought for sure.
So that you have
I'm
like
not
a
getting
purpose.
I'm not getting this job.
Yeah.
way y'all was screaming and yelling at me in that interview. But it was the best job ever.
Really?
Yeah.
So you started with like a police academy, something?
Yeah, we had to go to the academy, which was probably about, I had to drive like 45 minutes to get
Yeah.
to the school.
Yeah.
It was a college. It was in Fort Worth, Texas, and I lived in Irving, Texas at the time. And we had to go for 3 months and learn all the laws of the state and, all these. It was a lot.
Yeah.
They taught you how to shoot a gun, how to shoot rifles.
Were you good at that?
Shotguns. I was good at all of that.
Were you a good shooter?
Yeah, I was a great shooter.
Really? Good.
Yeah. And it was a lot of fun.
I can
Lot of
imagine.
fun.
Officer Coleman with a shotgun. I can imagine
Yeah,
that.
with a shotgun. I aced everything with a shotgun because, they were easy. They were big guns, real heavy. I was
Your
still
style.
big and
Lightweight.
real strong. Yeah, lightweight at the time. And after 3 months, you had to take this test. I'll never forget it. It was the hardest test ever. It was 200 questions, all multiple choice, and every answer seemed like it was the right one.
Was possible, yeah.
I don't know how I passed it. I really and truly don't know how I passed that test, but I did.
By learning, yeah. Learning,
And
studying.
then after that, you had to go to the city academy. That was another 3 months where you had to learn all the city laws.
City laws,
So,
yeah.
the first academy was for state law.
Yeah,
You had to learn
Texas,
all the
yeah.
State law, the street, they taught you how to shoot and all that kind of stuff. Man, but that city thing was pretty easy. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It was easy. Every test I took, I aced it. I think I had the highest grade point average, once it was over with. That lasted for 3 months, so that's 6 months in, and I'm still not on the streets. Well, that's when you hit the streets after that. And you rode around with somebody for another 3 months.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
With a senior officer, like
a
teaching
field training officer.
Yeah.
Or what they called it, FTO. And you rode around with him, and he graded you on how you did, how you interacted with people each and every single day.
training day.
Yeah, we had to work like morning shift for a whole month. We had to work an evening shift for a whole month. Then we had to work a midnight shift for a whole month.
Ah, okay.
And I hated all of those shifts except for the evening shift.
Yeah,
It was
that
my
would also be
favorite
mine.
one.
Yeah, me too.
It was the favorite one where all the action was. So I know what shift I'm gonna be working with when they when I get turned loose, when I get hired, I guess, because you still training, you're still not officially a police officer.
Yeah, of course.
So I went through it pretty easily. It wasn't that hard. And
Did
like
anything
I
happen?
said-
Did you get into a fight or shooting or something?
no,
No.
nothing.
Just
It was all,
everything
just
calm and-
basic work.
Yeah.
Never had to shoot at anybody. Never got shot at during that
Good.
training period. So I did pretty good and had a lot of fun with it.
Did that happen later?
Was that?
Did
No,
anybody shoot
no,
at you?
To be honest with you, my whole 15-year career,
Yeah.
no shootings, nothing.
Good.
But I had a lot of fun, a lot of fun days. Like I said, it was the best job ever.
Yeah.
I had so much fun on that job. I looked forward to going to work every single day I went. Mm-hmm. And I remember when they told me that I'm not there enough and I was gonna have to be let go.
After your second Olympia title.
Third.
After the third.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
After the third one.
Yeah.
And man, it was one of the worst days of my life. I remember sitting in that car and crying for like maybe 2 or 3 hours
Really?
in disbelief. Because I never thought it'd come a day where I would have to give up something that I truly loved doing and had a great passion for doing it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I look forward to going to work each and every single day. It was kind of like, you know, I'm this bodybuilder and I'm Mr. Olympia, and I get a chance to not have to think about being a bodybuilder for some time. It was like a relief from the so-called stress of being a bodybuilder.
You had something different to do.
So I
and-
had something different to do and not think about, you know, getting ready for the Olympia, not think about getting ready for the next show or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I like I said,
Like
I
a
look
vacation,
forward.
just-
kind of like a getaway.
Yeah.
You know, from the stresses of being, you know, a bodybuilder and having to worry about certain things that a bodybuilder has to do.
But you sat in the car and just was watching. You were watching the traffic and you were like eating and.
I did it all.
Yeah.
I did it all. For the most part, you know, I work patrol where you answer calls and you work accidents, you work disturbances, fights and stuff like that, and
Drive to the people's homes and.
drive to the homes and answer alarms, burglar alarms.
Did a lot of those.
Nobody
those
never burglarized.
did a lot of those guys you were alerted to? Did they know who you were?
Oh yeah, of course. Everybody
So
knew.
Officer Coleman is coming.
Everybody knew me.
Did anybody say one time, could you please send Officer Coleman to my place? Said somebody called 911 and he said, please send Officer Coleman?
You know what? Most of the time when somebody dialed 911, it was a very stressful situation.
Yeah.
So they never made any request for any officers.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, I did work a certain district, you know, where, you know, I worked from 3 to 11 every day. And some of the times I would work in an area where I would, like, you know, go in and talk to the people. And then, of course, you know, if that place got burglarized or something, they would say, could you send Officer Coleman?
Yeah.
You know, but it was just a basic call where it wasn't no stress in that. It wasn't no real emergency. You know, whatever happened had already happened, and the people were long gone. And it was, like I said, it was in my district, you know, and it was people that I would always go in and talk to, and you know, just have a great understanding about what was going on in that area. So yeah, they would.
You knew the
request me.
guys.
Yeah, I knew the people. Yeah,
the people
and
there.
I had been working there for quite a long time. So, because like I said, I worked the same shift, the same hours, the whole time I worked there. 15 years, you know. I was on that same shift from 3 to 11. And then one time they had a test period where we had a 10-hour shift, and it was from 2 to midnight. And for some reason, they didn't like the shift because they didn't like the hours because too many guys had to put in overtime. I don't know why, but you know that was one of the major complaints where we couldn't do 10-hour shifts, and I really hated that because the days off I had was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know, we worked 4 days and 3 days off, and 10-hour shift. You know, 40 hours a week. But those 5 days, 8-hour days wasn't so bad. You just don't get those 3 days off like you do with the 10-hour shift.
Yeah.
The 10-hour shift worked actually really good for me because
Really?
Oh yeah, because that extra day, I could really kind of focus on bodybuilding and get my timing down real good.
So you trained
Work
before?
on what I needed to work on for the show.
Yeah. You trained in the morning?
I always trained the same time. I would train I would go in about 12:30, or between 12:30 and 1. And like I said, I never worked out no more than an hour.
Yeah, okay.
If
You're
I
not
went
the
past-
morning guy, aren't you?
Huh?
You're not the morning guy.
No.
Me too.
I would get up every morning at 11 o'clock.
Really? That late?
Yep, that late.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, me-
Yep. And I would do my first hour cardio
Yeah.
because I had the treadmill right beside my bed.
Ah, okay.
I would get out of bed and jump right on it.
On the treadmill.
On the
Okay.
treadmill.
Okay.
And do my first hour. And right after that, I would eat my second meal of the day and go straight to the gym from there. So I was 11 to 12 on the treadmill, and from like 12 to 12:30, somewhere in there, I was eating my second meal. And I normally got to the gym about 1, somewhere in there, between like 12:45, 1 o'clock. And like I said, it's an hour. So I was done at 2.
Yeah.
And I would go home, take a quick shower, and grab my food and head off to work.
Yeah.
And I got to work every day about right at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I would, go through briefing with 5 minutes. They just tell us, what had been going on today, and
Yeah.
make sure everybody showed up. You had to punch the clock pretty much. And as soon as I got to my car, I would eat my third meal of the day.
Third meal, yeah.
In the car.
Chicken and rice, yeah.
Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice.
Same thing every single day. And
On the fourth meal
so
after that, or
the fourth,
during work?
after that was during work. So we clocked in at 3. I
Yeah.
would eat around about 3:15, somewhere in there. And my next meal, I would eat always 3 hours, between meals.
Yeah.
So my next meal was right around 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Steak and potatoes.
Nope, chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice again. The fourth, okay?
Sometimes, I would eat turkey.
Yeah.
Turkey and maybe potato or something.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it was just protein only, because I didn't only had like two meals of
Carbohydrates.
carbohydrates, because I was only
yeah.
taking in 125
Yeah.
grams. somewhere
Okay.
now, which is not much.
Not much now.
So those
But then you
other
had,
4 meals was just protein only.
yeah, but then you had steak after work. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite meal of the day.
I can't imagine that.
My steak and potato.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was just
Yeah,
steak.
like we had yesterday evening. Yeah.
Yeah. And my last meal of the day was always just the protein shake.
Yeah, but a really large one.
100 grams.
Imagine that. Okay.
Yep, 100 grams.
And
And I would go straight to bed.
did you sometimes did you get up at night and
Yeah,
you
I would
eat
sleep
again?
for 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I'd sleep for 3 hours, and I would wake up at 7 o'clock.
Really?
So
Did you
I-
use a timer or was
I had
this?
a timer. I had a
Oh,
timer.
you had a timer, yeah.
I wake up at 7 o'clock every single morning, and from 7 to 8, I would eat a meal,
Yeah.
because I had this favorite news show I would watch every single day,
Yeah.
and I would watch it for an hour
It's like
and go back to bed
back to bed till 11. So
till 11.
so
Yeah,
you slept like
I-
6 hours, 2 times 3 hours.
Yeah. I would sleep from 4 to 7, and then 8 to 11 every single day.
4. You stayed up that late in the night.
I stayed up that late.
Really?
Because when I got off from work, I had to do my cardio for an hour.
Again,
my second one. And
Yeah.
then I had to shower, and then I had to eat, twice?
Yeah.
Because I had the steak and potato, and then I had the protein shake.
Yeah.
So I would, shower, I would eat, then I would get on the computer and do like email.
Your business thing.
Yeah. Try to do a little business stuff. And I got a lot of email back in those days.
Yeah.
And after that, I would have my last meal of the day, and which was a protein shake.
And then
And
maybe
went straight to bed.
Yeah.
Every single day, at the same time, every single night. Whether I was done with the email or not, I had a time.
Yeah. And the morning meal, it was grits, right?
Yep, it was always grits and a protein shake.
Yeah. And a lot of
Another one of my favorite
cheese
meals.
flavor in the grits.
Yeah,
Or
it
cheese
was
in the grits.
fake cheese,
Yeah.
cheese powder.
And egg whites.
No, I couldn't eat egg whites for a contest. I could only eat egg whites in the off season because it was too much sodium
Okay.
in the egg whites.
You had to control that.
I had I had to monitor the sodium because it would make you hold a lot of water.
Yeah.
That's not good for bodybuilding. So I could eat no egg whites when I was getting ready for a show.
Okay.
So it was only a protein shake and the grits.
So and
and the
after
fake cheese.
and after the Olympia contest, you always took 3 months off.
Yeah. After every Olympia, I would take 3 months off because I would beat my body up so bad to the point where it needed a break.
Yeah.
And I said for any amount of longevity in this sport, I'm going to have to, give my body a break.
Yeah.
And I think it really helped out a whole lot because, like I said, that break allowed me to hang around just a little while longer, and give my body a rest, give it a break where, I could take time away and allow my body to recuperate from all that beating I put on it, getting ready for the Olympia. Because it needed a break real bad.
I can imagine that. So did you just reduce the weight and you kept working out, or did you do no workouts at all?
I didn't do anything.
Anything?
I didn't do cardio. I didn't even diet.
Really?
No, it was a break from
everything.
From
Just-
everything.
So
It was a reset.
So you didn't hit the gym for 3 months
I didn't go to the gym at all
at
for
all.
3 whole months.
Okay.
Yeah, I even calculated the amount of time and the months and everything, the weeks.
Really? And
Yeah.
did you lose some muscles and during that time? And you had to gain that again?
Yeah, I did. I got a little
I
small.
guess, yeah. But it
But
was fine for you, or did you have problems with that, looking in the mirror and
No,
saying,
no,
okay,
no.
I'm looking small?
No, I felt like I was doing myself a great service.
Yeah.
And it was part of my training.
Yeah. Did you also do that after the first Olympia, or did you have to learn that you say, okay, I need some time?
I kind of did that after the first one.
Really?
Because I felt like, I've done all this work all these years,
Yeah.
and now I've accomplished the number one goal, of every bodybuilder, and that's to win the Olympia professional. And I say, I deserve a break.
Yeah, of course you did. But was there a point that you maybe also thought, okay, I've won the Olympia, now I'm taking 3 months off, should I come back? Did you ever say, okay, maybe it's enough? Or did you ever ask yourself that question? Did you just say, no, I'm coming back. Of course I'm coming back.
Of course I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was no doubt in my mind.
No doubt.
Because I still had that passion.
Yeah, of course.
And I never really lost it. It was kind of hard for me to take all that time off, but I felt like I needed it.
Yeah.
And in order for me to continue winning, you know, I need to give my body a break so I could reset and go back and, you know, start rebuilding over again. It's kind of like me starting all over again.
What was the feeling when you did the first workout after that?
It was like
must have been
me
amazing.
being an amateur.
Yeah.
Going to the gym for the first time. So I'm lifting as light as possible.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, I'm really lifting lightweight for real.
For real, okay.
Yeah, so dumbbells, you know, probably no heavier than 70, 80, you know. Bench press.
Not heavier than 80, yeah.
Yeah, bench press probably no heavier than maybe 225, maybe.
Yeah.
That's the heaviest, you know. But I did like, you know, 135 for a long time where I would just do like a certain number of reps, you know, until I felt like I was regaining my strength.
Yeah.
back.
And then the intensity grew
it
from
grew
day to day.
and grew each and every single week. Yeah, I would amp it up just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more until I fully regained my strength.
Yeah.
And it took about maybe a whole month and a half, almost 2 months.
Yeah. After your third title, when the police department told you that you're taking too many days off, was there maybe a situation where you thought, okay, maybe I want to be a policeman and I don't stay in the bodybuilding business?
Never.
Okay, you made that decision and you just said,
to think like that.
okay, I stay in bodybuilding and so I'm not a policeman anymore.
Yeah, because I'm making millions.
Okay, that's the thing. Okay,
Yeah,
of course.
so it was a no-brainer, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
of
making
course.
millions
Of course.
being Mr. Olympia, and I'm only making 45,000 maybe.
Yeah.
On a good year, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer. And like I said, I was heartbroken, but
Of course.
I'm not stupid.
Of course. So
I'm not giving up millions of dollars.
But you stay connected to your colleagues and you
Yeah,
gave them a visit or
to
something.
be honest with you, I did stay on and kind of do like a reserve where you could work 40 hours a month
Okay.
and still, you know, have your commission.
Yeah.
So
And you did that.
I did that for a while
Okay.
until I got too busy for that too.
Okay.
Yep. So only thing about that is they didn't pay you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're doing volunteer work, you know, just,
Yeah.
You know, hang around the guys and say,
And serve the
keep
public
your commission,
and-
say
yeah.
you still a police officer for the most part.
Yeah.
But you know what? People are so kind of screwed up in the head, you know. I remember one time I was going to the chiropractor, and I had to go to another city
Yeah.
because right next to Arlington was this small city called DWG,
Yeah.
Dow Worthington Gardens.
Yeah.
And they had their own police department.
Uh-huh.
And a buddy of mine's like, man, I don't know about you, but those guys in DWG kind of off a little bit. So every time I got to go to that city, I make sure I go around it. Because I ain't trying to get pulled over by them idiots over there.
Really?
And I'm like, you think they that bad? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So one day, I was going to the chiropractor, and when I left to go back home, I get pulled over.
Really?
Yeah,
Officer Coleman gets pulled over.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Hey, I know you." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Coleman. You know, I worked at Arlington Police Department." He's like, "Yeah. You got your badge on you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got it. It's right here." So he goes back to his car. He's like, "Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll be with you in a minute." So he goes back to his car,
Yeah.
and I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and I see this clown. He's reading a book. I'm like, "What the hell is he reading?"
A book?
Yeah. I'm like, "What the hell is he reading?" And I'm like, "Oh, it don't concern me."
Yeah.
So he comes back up to my car and he's like, "Hey, I was Coleman, I got some bad news for you." I'm like, "Bad news? Like what?" He's like, "Well, you're under arrest."
Oh.
I'm like, "For what?" He's like, "Well, you're not a police officer no more. You showed me your badge, so you impersonating an officer." I'm like,
What?
"Dude, you lost your mind."
He was asking for the badge.
Yeah, like you was asking for it. He's like, "Yeah, but you still can't say you're a police officer, and so you're on arrest for impersonating an officer." I'm like, "Man, this has got to be a joke." But no, it wasn't no joke. He put handcuffs on me and took me to jail and booked me
With
in.
handcuffs even.
Yeah, I'm on the news.
Ronnie Coleman arrested.
Yeah, exactly. It was the biggest thing ever happened in the city of Arlington.
Ronnie Coleman arrested.
Arrested for impersonating an officer. I'm like, dude, I worked for the police department for 15 years. How the hell you gonna say I'm impersonating an officer?
I guess you never went there again and you changed the chiropractor.
No. I still went, and I still went through that city.
Did they apologize to you?
No, they didn't apologize. Them idiots, them clowns.
Okay.
But they never went anywhere.
But a lot of people know you in that area. Right?
Yeah. And in the state of Texas, you are always a police officer, no matter whether you retired, working currently, or whatever. You're always an officer.
Yeah, of course.
So this clown just, come to find out, he was a dirty cop. He ended up getting arrested.
Oh.
Yeah, like 3 months later for raping girls.
Really?
Yeah, and he would arrest these mostly black girls, and he would put them in the front seat of his car.
Yeah.
And so while he was taking them to jail, he would reach over there and start feeling on them and, using his finger on them.
Oh.
Well, I guess one of them decided, she wasn't going to take it, and she turned him in, and and the FBI and everybody came out and arrested him and took him to jail for real.
Good.
So he ended up being the bad cop.
Yeah.
All around.
Cop. Yeah.
Not only in his mind, but also for real, in theory, a rapist. Boy, I tell you, you got all kinds these days. So I guess, him taking me to jail was his time to say he was this upstanding officer that followed the book or whatever. But it backfired on him. He ended up going to prison.
Good.
Yeah, so, it's always one guy out there that's doing really bad, trying to make himself look good. So he come to find he was the real crook,
Yeah.
in the scenario.
Yeah. But this is the only time you experienced something bad like this.
Yeah, that was the only time.
Because from what I've seen, that people all around the world, they just get excited when they see you still till today.
But like I said, nothing really happened with the charges. You can't arrest somebody that you can't impersonate somebody that you really are.
Yeah, of
You
course.
can't impersonate a officer if you were an officer. Is what I'm saying.
So if I was wearing a badge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be, But like I say, there's always some crook somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. You always find somebody in life who's a crook. Yeah.
Yep. And it's just my lucky day that I happen to be the one that he came across and gonna use me to make himself look good. Make himself look good when he was actually a real bad guy. Because I'm not out, breaking the law.
Yeah.
And committing felonies like him. But that's just life,
Yeah.
Gonna always be people out there like that.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, so
it's a shame, but it is the way it is.
What it is.
It is what it is.
Yep, it is what it is. But for the most part, I really enjoyed my career for the police department, and if I could work it today, I would still work it.
Really?
I still miss that job, and wish that I could work it because I had a lot of fun. The satisfaction out of helping people that really needed help was really refreshing to me, and I look forward to going to work each and every single day because it felt like I was, contributing to society and trying my best to make the world a better place to be. So that's why I look forward to going to work each and every single day for that reason and that reason only for the most part.
Making the world a better place,
Yep, and trying to, make it, and trying to make a difference.
But you're now doing this, I think, in a different way.
Yeah.
Because you're like a role model.
For that too. I also went out to a lot of the high schools and junior high.
You do?
And gave speeches and stuff like that. So I also got to interact with a lot of the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And try to help them out also. It was called a DARE program. Oh man, I forget what DARE stands for now. It's been so long that I've done that. But it was a lot of fun doing that too.
Yeah.
Going out, helping the kids, making sure they stayed on the right track.
Yeah.
And of course they love seeing me come in there all muscular. I would do like demonstrations sometime where I would bench like 4 or 5 for like 10, 15 reps. I would every now and then put 500 on there and do some reps with that too.
What somebody does, yeah.
Yeah.
Business as usual.
But it was a lot of fun doing that too.
Yeah.
So I loved everything about that job. Like I said, still miss it today.
Yeah.
And wish I could still work it today. Because it was just that satisfying, and I had just that much amount of passion to work it.
Yeah.
You know what they say about
I
passion.
can see that, yeah.
Once you find passion in something, you really never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that with me, And I can say it was a true passion because there was, like I said, there was a time where I didn't get paid to do that and still did it. So I had a real passion for doing it and truly enjoyed it. Now, the bodybuilding thing, I can still do. I just can't lift as heavy as I could back in the day.
Yeah.
Because of, the restrictions from the all those surgeries. Like I said, after every neck surgery, I would get weaker and weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
I started out being able to do 4 or 5 on my first one to the last one, barely 185. And that was a struggle.
Yeah.
That was a big struggle. But, after it was all said and done, I'm not going to win another Olympia. I'd already won 8. And I was extremely happy to win 8. Because for somebody to just get into bodybuilding for a free membership to the gym, I accomplished a whole lot.
You can say
And
that, yeah.
that was the only reason why I got into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Because it worked out like this. One day I was on a call, and we always worked the calls by ourselves. It was not like a non-emergency situation.
Yeah.
So where you had to go out and just take a report or something.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the calls they always sent 2 people, and it was up to you to say disregard backup or I don't need backup and I can do this by myself.
You just decide by yourself.
Yeah, you decide on your own.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, one of the calls, the guy who was my backup, I disregarded him, but he ended up showing up anyway. And he's like, man, I just want to come out here and meet you and find out what gym you was working at and all this and that. And I'm like, well, I'm working out at the station. And he's like, oh, man, there ain't enough.
You had like a weightlifting room.
Yeah, we had a weightlifting room at the station,
Yeah.
at the main station. But it was a room maybe this size right here.
Oh, okay. So rather small and
real small.
like
real
you had a
small.
barbell and a bench and
Yeah,
a rack or
barbell,
something.
bench, and a rack. And,
Yeah, yeah.
That was
Powerlifting,
about it. And some weights.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, ain't enough weight in there. It wasn't enough. I remember one day I was benching and I ran out of weights because, they only had about 400 pounds, maybe 350, 400 pounds, somewhere in there.
Only, yeah.
And he was like, man, you need a real gym. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I work out at this gym called Metroflex. You ought to come over there with me. I'm like, okay, I'll be over there tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So the next day, I go to Metroflex, and Brian's the owner. Brian Dobson the owner. He's like, man, you're a pretty big guy. I'm like, yeah, I've been working out for a long time. I've been on the powerlifting team and everything. Mm-hmm. He's like, you ever consider bodybuilding? I'm like, no, what's that about? Mm-hmm. He's like, well, guy get on stage, they compete. I was like, no, dude, I ain't never considered doing nothing like that. He's like, man, you should consider it. You could do pretty good in this sport.
How old were you at that time?
I just turned 25.
25?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, I was 22 when I graduated.
Yeah.
Then I worked 2 years at Domino's, and then another year, of training and stuff. So I was right around 25. And he was like, you should consider bodybuilding. You can make a lot of money. You could be world champion one day in this sport. I'm like, no, Brian, that's all right. I heard those guys have to take drugs, steroids, and they have to diet and all this stuff. And
That's not for me.
that's not for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not in the dieting. I'm definitely not trying to take no steroids because I just got this job at the police department.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to get in no trouble. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, no, you could do this. You ain't got to do all of that. I'm like, nah, that's okay. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy, just working for the police department and going to work each and every single day with that. Mm-hmm. Well, the next day I come in there, and he's like, man, you should really do this bodybuilding thing. I'm like, no, dude, I already told you that I'm not interested in no bodybuilding. I can't diet. I like eating, hamburgers and hot dogs. I like eating real food.
Real food. Yeah.
He's like, oh, you can do it. It's not that bad. I said, no, thank you, Brian. I really don't want to do no bodybuilding.
No
Well,
bodybuilding.
the next day I go in the gym. He's still after me. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, you could be Mr. Olympia one day. I'm like, what's that? He's like, that's the best bodybuilder in the world. I'm like, no, Brian, I can't be no Mr. Olympia, dude. There's no way I could be
Imagine
no
that.
Mr. Olympia.
I don't want to be.
He's like, I tell you what. He's like, I give you a free membership to this gym. All you gotta do is compete in this show coming up in like 3 months. He's like, I teach you how to diet. I teach you how to, train like a bodybuilder. He's like, I teach you everything you need to know. And I'm like, a free membership? I'm like, dude, you probably should have led with that. I could use the free membership right now because, I'm kind of behind on my bills and, I'm struggling, And he's like, okay. I'm going to teach you how to train and everything, and we're going to do this show together. So Brian taught me how to diet as a bodybuilder. He taught me how to pose, and we would go to this guy's house like twice a week. And he would record us, doing our poses and stuff. He had this room, he had this shed in the back of his house. And he had this recording device set up in there. He had like a little stage set up in there also, and Brian would show me all these poses and show me how to, put a routine together and all this. Like I said, we did this twice a week, every single week leading up to the show. And I got used to dieting, but I never took any drugs or anything. And I did my first show
All natural,
drug free and everything. And I went in there. I never forget it like it was yesterday. It was April 7th, 1990. I remember the date and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember getting up on stage, and man, I had the time of my life. I enjoyed it. I had fun, and to top it all off, I won my weight class, and then I won the overall.
Really?
Yeah. And then afterward, I had all these girls after me. Oh, yeah. This is
There's something. Okay.
Yeah, I like this a lot. And the next show I did was the next week. It was April the 14th, 1990. I won that show, and I won overall in that show, too. And then, like, the next 3 or 4 shows I did, I won first in overall. And I remember the last show I did, I could qualify for the Nationals, the men's Nationals, which was the biggest show in bodybuilding. And if you won, you would get your pro card. Well, I went to that show, and I ended up placing third.
Third. Oh, okay.
Yeah, my first men's national, my first time being a bodybuilder. And
all natural.
Yeah, all natural.
And all the other guys were not natural.
They drug tested that show.
Ah, okay.
They actually drug tested the show, where you had to go and pee in a cup and everything. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. I like this sport. I got third my first time in the Nationals. Brian might be on to something. And all I got to do is compete, and I get a free membership to the gym. So the next year I went back to the Nationals, and I placed 4th. I went from 3rd to 4th. And I'm like, oh, man, I ain't doing that good in this sport. Well, anybody that could pass the drug test could do the Team Universe, where they took a team to a foreign country, and you competed in it used to be called Mr. Universe, but there was so many Mr. Universes out there, they changed it to the World Championships.
Yeah.
So my first year, it's kind of like my second year, because my first year I didn't turn pro or nothing. But in this show, if you could pass the drug test, You could go to that. Well, I was the only one in my weight class. There were 43 guys in my weight class, and I was the only one that showed up to take the drug test. The only one. And of course, passed it because I was drug free. I didn't take anything. And they took us to Poland.
Poland. Okay.
So my second year in the sport, I went to Poland my first time ever out of the country. I had to get a passport and all this stuff.
Okay.
And I ended up placing first in that show and got my pro card. And I'm like, wow.
And all the other guys might have taken something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
For sure
But you
they
won
did.
anyway.
Yeah, I went anyway and I won. Got my pro card and everything, and I even qualified for the Mr. Olympia.
Really?
For winning my weight class. And, they had certain ways you qualify for Mr. Olympia. One, if you won your weight class in that national show, you could qualify that way. If you placed in the top 3, this was back a long time ago. They don't do this no more. If you placed in the top 3 in a regular pro show, you could also qualify for Mr. Olympia. Well, I qualified from, winning my weight class in a national show, the World Championships. And my first year in the sport, just turning pro, I went to the Mr. Olympia.
And?
I didn't place.
Okay.
I stood on stage the whole time, about 2-3 hours. Just stood there. They didn't call me out. They didn't recognize me. They didn't call my name. Nothing. It was like I was just in the show, and nobody saw me.
Who won that year? Dorian Yates?
Dorian Yates.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yates, yeah.
Yeah, that was 1992.
Yeah.
But I got the experience of a lifetime. Here I am.
Did you
Just in the sport.
Did you ever think that you might be coming back to Mr. Olympia?
No.
No, you thought 92 and then
this is it.
It's
This
that.
is it. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is it.
Imagine that. Crazy.
Only reason why I got in the sport is for that free membership anyway. I didn't
Yes.
really care about,
It's a good motivation.
yeah. I placed no Mr.
How much
Olympia.
was the membership? How much was the membership at the Metroflex? Like $40 or something?
Yeah. He was 30, 40 somewhere in there.
Yeah, it can be a good motivation.
Yeah. that wasn't a whole lot of money, but
It was money.
yeah, it was money.
Yeah.
So, just the experience alone of going to my first Mr. Olympia was enough satisfaction for me because I did, qualify and make it, to the Olympia, even though I didn't get a call out and I didn't get recognized. I got to go to a foreign country, and it was in Helsinki that year.
Yeah, Finland, yeah.
Yeah, and we were on the ice rink.
Oh.
I'll never forget that. It was freezing cold in there.
Yeah.
And we were walking on ice.
Really?
To get on stage, because the stage was on the ice rink.
On an ice ring.
Yeah, the stage was actually on the ice rink where the ice was.
You need to take care that you don't slip and something that you don't fall.
And Lou Ferrigno slipped and fell.
Really?
Yeah, he sure did. I don't know how he survived, but he survived. He was on stage, and he slipped and fell through the stage.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
No, they didn't show that.
Okay.
But it happened. I was like, man, how did he fall? But I guess, it was slippery. And we were on ice. We were actually
Crazy.
on ice.
Totally crazy.
some of the guys ran back to the dressing room to get their shoes. You know,
Yeah.
I ain't stepping on that ice my feet.
Yeah.
Some of my guys put on socks. You know, put on their socks
Even more slippery.
and walked up on stage and took them off. You know, right before they got on the stage because they had a platform, and it was like steps.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was like 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4. It went up, and that's what that was the stage. Oh. And to get to there, you had to walk on this cold, freezing ice.
Crazy.
The craziest thing ever. I'm like, man, this ain't no fun. Walking on this cold, freezing ice, and you trying to, get your veins to come out, trying to stay, as cool, calm, and collected as you could, and it was freezing in that place.
Yeah.
And you trying to stay warm.
Yeah.
That was no fun at all.
No.
That was no fun. I couldn't
doesn't
believe they
sound
did
that
to us. Made us walk on that cold, freezing ice in our bare feet. But like I said, some of the guys, like, they ran back to the dressing room, put on their shoes. Some guys put on flip-flops.
The whole idea is crazy. Just okay, let's give the people something different. Let's do a show on ice.
That was crazy. But it went off, and like I said, Dorian ended up winning, and Kevin got second that year. But it was an experience. And I remember Vince Taylor, he had an eye patch on. He he reached up to get his luggage out of the bin, and a strap hit him in the eye from one of the bags. Yeah.
He looked like a pirate.
Yeah, he looked like a pirate. I don't know. Probably some people thought that he was, had a costume on or something, but he had that thing on because his eye was messed up real bad. And I know he couldn't probably see out of it because it hit him pretty good, and he couldn't see out of that eye for a long time.
Yeah.
But Vince was like, I'm competing in this show. I went through all that trouble.
Okay.
Did all that died, and I'm stepping on stage somehow or another. And I think he ended up doing pretty good. He made the top 5, I think. I think he got like 3rd or 4th or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe 5th. But I remember him being in the top 5. Because I don't remember who got 3rd and 4th and all that, but I think he did make the top 5.
Okay.
I think Leela Brada was in that show. I think he ended up in the top 5 too. But it went off pretty good, even though the conditions were really bad.
But they never did something like that again.
They never did that again. Because the year after that, they had it in New York, and then year after that, they had it in Vegas, and it's been there ever since.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? Come to think of it, they moved it around a little bit. They moved it around. Because I remember going to Chicago one year. I remember going to Atlanta one year. I remember going to Los Angeles, L.A. one year and doing it there. And I think they did it in Orlando also one year. So they would move it around from different cities. They would. Before they did that, they would have it in the U.S. one year, and then they would have it international.
International, yeah.
Yeah, and they did that for a long time. And then
like Arnold in Sydney, 1980.
It came to a point where they just kept it in the U.S. every single year after that. After that ice rink debacle.
Yeah.
It's like, we ain't doing that again. Putting us in the ice rink.
Finnish ice rink, yeah.
But I remember going to, I think the next time I qualified for the Olympia was 1994.
Yeah.
Because I did 92. I didn't qualify in 93.
Yeah.
I ended up placing like 6th and 7th in all the shows that I entered. And then 94 came around. And I went to Paris, Germany, and I placed third in both of those.
Yeah.
It's still
yeah.
drug-free and everything, yeah.
Still drug free.
Yeah, still drug-free and still
94.
still qualified for the Olympia and everything. So 94, what did I place? 15th.
15th.
Yeah.
At least you got a place.
Yeah, at least I got a place and a call out.
And call out. They said your name.
Yeah, they called my name before it says. I never forget standing on stage. They called my name. I'm like, oh, they called my name.
Oh, that's me.
That's great. I finally get a call out and then one of these shows, one of these Olympia shows, that is.
Imagine that.
Yeah, and all for a free membership to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, so wasn't that bad after all, because I was getting good money, you know, and I finally got a contract. I think my first contract was with Metrex. Brian ended up getting it for me. He called every supplement company in the world, I think, and Metrex finally gave me one.
Yeah.
And it was good, you know. I was working for the police department, you know, making a good salary, and I worked also part-time jobs while I was at the police department.
Really?
I worked for the apartment complex I was living in.
Yeah.
They gave me free rent.
Ah,
So
that's good. So
I get two free things. I get free membership to the gym, and I got free rent. All from working for the police department.
okay.
And then I would work Denny's.
What?
Denny's was like a fast food restaurant.
Okay.
And they would pay me, what would they pay me? 25 an hour, something like that.
Yeah.
And they would pay me cash at the end of the night. I would work from 12 to 4.
Yeah.
I got off at 11 o'clock from the police department.
Yeah.
And
So you worked at night?
Yeah, I worked at night.
So you had your meal, and then you went to your second job, and then.
Yeah, no, you know what? I ate at Denny's.
Ah. Okay. Quite convenient.
I
Okay.
remember getting ready for a show, and
So, but you were working so much, so it's amazing that you even went on stage.
yeah, sure did.
So
I ate at Denny's. I remember eating pancakes and eggs.
do you think today it's easier for bodybuilders to make money and to be a professional bodybuilder, not depending on jobs?
With social media,
Yeah,
trust me, you can make a lot of money.
yeah. Just giving out codes.
You could do YouTube and all this other stuff. You know,
Imagine you wouldn't have to work.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to work. Yeah,
At that time.
But I worked at Denny's from 12 to 4, and they paid me like almost $100.
Yeah.
$100 at the end of the night. I worked it on Fridays and Saturday nights, and also I worked for the complex. I had free rent. I didn't have to pay rent, so I was doing pretty good working for the police department.
Yeah.
I made probably almost 6 figures.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I worked my complex apartment. All I had to do at the complex was lock the pool up every night. And
Okay.
I had a beeper I had to carry around. And every time somebody would play their music loud, they would have me go and tell them to turn it down.
Officer Coleman is coming and
Yeah, we need you to go
turn
to
the
a
music
certain
down.
point and then tell them to turn their music down. So I did that.
Yeah.
So I made pretty good money working for the police department.
Yeah.
I had, I think I ended up having 2 cars, and I bought my first house.
Yeah.
Sure did. I saved up enough money to buy my first house, and it was a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2-car garage.
Yeah.
3,000 square feet. It was a nice size house. It wasn't bad.
How long did you stay in that house?
26 years.
Till last year.
Yeah, till last year.
Yeah.
I finally moved after all that time, you know. wife and kids, we all lived there. So
Great.
yeah, it was a nice house. It was a real nice house. But it, you know, with the wife and kids, it got kind of small.
Yeah. Yeah. Eight
And
kids.
huh?
8 kids.
Yeah, but you know what? It was never all at the same time.
Okay.
You know, my oldest 2 daughters, when they lived there, they were like in high school and college and stuff like that. And then they graduated and they moved out.
Mm-hmm.
And my other kids, of course, they stayed there.
So you are not longer the only Coleman with a college degree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. My daughter, she her major was forensic sciences.
Oh.
Yeah.
CSI.
Exactly. Yeah. And she graduated magna cum laude.
Whoa.
I'm like, oh man, she got me. Oh, that's all right. At least she's my daughter.
Is she working at a CSI department?
Nope. She's a school teacher.
As a teacher. Good.
Went through all of that to become a school teacher.
Not bad.
But she got a job and working and supporting the family and everything.
Yeah.
She's married with 2 kids, and I'm a granddad.
A granddad.
Yeah, I got
How many grandchildren do you have?
kids. I got 2.
Two,
She
those
got a 11-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
So finally got a boy in the house. Finally got a boy in the family.
Because you got 8 girls.
Yeah, I got 8 daughters. I got 8 girls.
Yeah. Only men can do girls. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Real man.
Boys do boys and real men do girls. Yeah.
Exactly. So it didn't turn out to be that bad after all.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. And the house we live in now has a swimming pool and everything.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that on a video. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a pretty nice
you're-
house.
you're doing-
It's twice the size of the house I was in.
Yeah.
The house I was in was 3,000. This was like almost 7,000.
Yeah. But because when we all come together on Thanksgiving, and it's a large family.
Yeah, we do everything in my house now.
Yeah.
All the parties at my house. Like we had the 4th of July just a couple of days ago. I mean, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Independence Day.
And we had the party at my house.
Good.
And everybody and their mama showed up.
Uh-huh.
And it was a nice party, It was kind of hot, but it was a nice party, and we had a great time.
Enjoying
My
life.
wife didn't really have to cook all the food because she made everybody bring a dish.
Ah, that's good.
And we just had to buy drinks and stuff like that, party
Yeah.
favors and stuff like that. So
Enjoying life.
Yeah, it turned out really good, really good. Mm-hmm. And only thing about moving into the new house is I didn't get a chance to bring the gym with me.
Ah,
In
okay.
my
So you
other
sold
house,
all the
I
machines.
sold everything.
Ah, pity.
That was painful to do.
Yeah.
It was very painful.
All the machines that you
All the
bought,
machines, yeah.
like the
I
copy of
had,
the Metroflex.
I had to sell,
Yeah.
and no longer in possession. But I had for quite a while. I started that. I built that gym in 2001, and kept it for 23 years.
Yeah.
And just moved out. Moved into the new house. It'd be a year, July 5th.
Yeah.
So it's been a year and a couple weeks now that I've been in the new house. And I'm getting ready to build a gym. And I think
Next.
my wife...
Only for you or also for the public?
No, just for me only.
Only for you. Good. Good.
Yeah, my wife was signing the contracts and everything while I was here.
Yeah. Good.
She sent it to me, and of course I had to okay it. And then so now they building, I think 3,000 square foot
Just for you.
just for me. Yeah, and
Imagine that. It's great.
Panada is providing the equipment. I think we have like a gym at the office.
Yeah.
They provided all that. It's like $500,000 worth of equipment.
Yeah.
It's really nice equipment, you know.
Yeah.
They make everything. They got cardio equipment, everything.
But I will send you one of our gluteators.
Oh, okay.
As I promised you, I will send you one of our gluteators.
Okay, that'll be great. I
Yeah.
can't wait to get it.
Yeah, we will try
And
it out.
as soon as they finish building the house, I'll be ordering my special made panada, because we got special made panada equipment for
Heavyweight stacks.
office. Yeah, with the heavyweight stacks.
Yeah, really
you know, wait a
heavyweight
minute.
stacks.
No, it's plate loaded.
Oh, even better for you.
Yeah, everything is plate loaded there.
You-
They don't have any.
you
they
were-
have a few machines with
In,
stacks.
in your active time, you were so strong.
Yeah,
So there was
I've always been pretty strong.
there
you
was-
know,
there was- there were
since my
only
high school days.
there were only some machines, I assume, that you could do in your workouts because you were so strong
So I would add plates to it.
Yeah.
To the weight stack.
on all sides of the machine.
Sometimes
on
I
the
would
weight
add
stack,
2 plates to it.
yeah.
Because 1 plate wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know, it was on 45 pounds.
Yeah.
So I would add
So-
2 45-pound.
Imagine you are that strong that you cannot. You have to use the barbell and the dumbbell because
Exactly.
all the machines are too light.
Exactly. Too light for me.
Yeah, lightweight.
Lightweight, baby. Nothing but a peanut. Yeah, and so I can't wait to get the gym built and get my brand new custom-made Panada equipment with my logo on it.
Yeah.
Because we have our Ronnie Coleman Signature Series
Yeah,
logo
yeah, yeah.
on the new equipment with our company colors,
Yeah.
blue and white.
Are you also?
And it took almost, let's see, we ordered that in June, July,
Yeah.
June, and we got it a month ago.
Yeah.
So from June to what was almost a year.
Yeah.
It took almost a year for them to. I just realized it took almost a year for them to special make that equipment with our
Takes a
logo
while,
and
yeah.
and padded.
You must be having a lot of ideas for great machines in your mind.
Panada has made 2 so far
Yeah.
for me,
For you, especially for you.
especially for me.
But
And
maybe-
one of them is a chest press. I think one of them is like a curl machine.
Yeah.
So I have 2 with my name on them.
So, but
already.
if you ever have an idea for a special machine, we could build that
do
for
that
you with
same
our
thing.
company Dynamic Forceworks. So if you need ever something special.
That sounds like a pretty good idea.
So we are building the gluteator with that company.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
next step is a leg extension, and then
Because I had pretty
We
good.
will have a-
I had pretty good glutes back in the day.
That
was one of my signature poses.
Yeah. I think we can get that done.
Yeah, that sounds like a good
So
idea.
lots of plans for the future.
Oh yeah.
So-
yeah, we
so-
are rolling right along now.
So what about your back? So do you see any improvements?
Right now, yeah. I've had quite a few improvements as far as pain and all that goes.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm rehabilitating.
Yeah.
So I'm going to therapy twice a week right now with a therapist. And then I think we're going to increase it to 4 days a week after I've been going to see this therapist for about 3 months.
Yeah.
So pretty soon here we'll be doing it 4 days a week. And I'm giving myself about 2 years to
2 years.
get my, to get my balance back.
Yeah.
And
So it's
get back to walking, and without crutches and wheelchair.
yeah. So it's mostly a thing of a balance.
Yeah, most of the thing of a balance
Or
thing.
do they have to take
pain.
something out of your back, like those metal things you have in your back? Like
They say they can, but it's another surgery.
yeah. The
And,
14th, yeah.
I don't know if I could go through another surgery.
Yeah.
Because I was getting ready to have surgery on my back
Yeah.
again, and the doctor said it's going to be real risky because this herniated disc is right next to my heart, so it was right here.
Oh.
And
Okay.
he was like, it's gone. Yeah, you might not make it through it.
Okay.
You know, all it takes is one slip up with whatever, and you could be out of here. You know?
I have read that you have, from several surgeries, you have scar tissue on your back, so they need to go through your stomach, actually, like through the front.
Yep, yep. They had to take my abs out
Really?
and intestines out,
Whoa.
and they had a special doctor to do that.
Really? That they just cut you open and just took everything out so they can reach your spine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I wasn't too happy about that one.
I suppose so. I wouldn't be happy either.
No, I wasn't really happy about that. I don't think they did too good a job on that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I survived and I'm doing
Yeah,
okay.
that's the
So
most
that's
important
the most
thing.
important
But
thing, yeah.
but did there were several surgeries that were not that good, right?
Yeah, there were like 3 or 4 that they put these screws in,
Yeah.
and about a month later they broke.
Oh. Okay.
So they had to redo that surgery again.
And
And I
not
had
good.
to go through all that pain and a whole nother surgery.
Yeah.
And that happened 3 times.
And how's the level of pain right now?
Now, I've been doing stem cell,
Yeah.
and it has decreased almost to the point of my pain level was on a scale of 1 to 10. It was like a 7, 8.
Yeah.
So it's come down to maybe like maybe a 2 or 3. So
that's
it's
good.
barely there. So it's a whole lot better since stem cell treatment. I've been doing it for about 3 years now. My first one, you know, I felt a little relief, and the second one, you know,
It's getting
a little more.
better,
and
yeah.
it's been getting better and better every time.
That must be quite
It got to the point where
Yeah.
I was telling you about this surgery I was going to have for the herniated disc that was, you know, in my mid back right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And the doctors was like, I wouldn't really recommend it, but if you had to have it because of the pain, I was in a lot of pain. I was in so much pain that I had trouble sleeping at night, and it would keep me up for hours at a time. And I couldn't do it. I just told him, I'll figure out something else.
Yeah. And
Stem cells was, you know, I was doing stem cells. So I was like, I've been doing this thing, stem cells. Now I'm gonna depend on that. So I think after about my 5th or 6th treatment, it completely healed it.
Really?
Yep. I had no more pain and no more sleepless nights. Pain was totally gone, and from the stem cell treatments, and it completely healed that herniated disc.
But that must be quite expensive, isn't it?
Very expensive.
Yeah. You have to go down to Mexico?
I had to go to Mexico. Thank God it's only a 2-hour flight, though.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
Texas and Mexico board each other.
Yeah.
So, it's very fortunate for me that I don't have to travel that far. So when I go, I can stay at least almost a week, 5-6 days.
Yeah.
And now he's incorporated a hyperbaric chamber
Okay.
that I can go in, and that speeds the healing.
Okay.
So where it used to take about almost 2 weeks for the pain and everything to go away after, a treatment, now it takes maybe 2 days, 2-3 days at the most.
So, and how long do you stay in that chamber?
45 minutes.
Yeah.
I can do it twice a day. So I can
okay.
do 45 in the morning and then come back in the evening and do another 45 minutes
Okay.
session. And the good thing about it, we can watch TV while you're in there. So
Okay.
I always turn on like Netflix and watch some of my favorite shows.
Fubar.
Football.
We talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm waiting on that to come out soon, hopefully, because that first season was really good.
Yeah, we have Arnold
Really
here right
enjoyed
behind
it.
you.
Yeah. My good buddy Arnold in there.
Yeah.
So you can watch TV in there, and time goes by really fast.
That's
when
good.
You can watch TV.
You like you like watching movies?
I love watching movies.
Well-
Actually, me and my wife have a date night. Like every Sunday, we go to the movies.
Ah, really?
Watch the movies.
What's
every
your
Sunday.
favorite movie?
Mostly anything with Marvel or DC.
Ah, okay.
Those are all my favorite.
Like the Avengers.
Batman, Superman,
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
All of those.
Yeah, the Incredible
Those
Hulk
are my
is-
favorites of all time.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to the next one that comes out.
I think
always
Deadpool is the
Yep,
next
yep,
one coming
I'm
out.
looking
You
forward-
like those?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
I like the
that.
humor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's funny. I don't know what.
Yeah. And now he got
Ryan Reynolds, he does a real good job in
Yeah,
that.
no, he
and,
got-
and him and the steak knife guy, Wolverine.
the Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. Yeah,
Yeah, are gonna be in this one together.
yeah.
so,
Or
I'm
as he
looking
called
forward.
him, Honey Badger. He said Deadpool and Honey Badger, not Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Honey Badger.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that coming out. So
Yeah.
I think it's either this weekend or next weekend.
Yeah, and you should go there on the date night.
Oh yeah, yep, for sure.
I will also take my wife there on the date night.
Yeah, you can't go wrong on those.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to going to the next one, like I say.
And maybe Arnold's movies.
Oh
like
yeah,
the
of course.
Terminator.
My buddy, all his movies are my favorites too.
Yeah.
I never miss none of the Terminators. Those.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we've seen our last one or not. But
Nah.
you never know.
Nah. Terminator 2.
Sylvester Stallone now has some good shows too.
Yeah.
You know,
Like Expendables. and-
yeah, I've seen all of those too.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good shows.
Yeah.
Really good movies too.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking forward to the next one. I'm quite sure it'll be out real soon.
Yeah, always a lot to do. So always a lot of to do, lots
yeah.
of plans, and
Always something to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
60
I look
years old
forward
and
to
not
all
tired.
those.
Not
Not at all.
Not
Still
at all.
going, and as far as I'm concerned, still going strong.
Yeah.
Hanging in there, enjoying it, and having fun doing it. That's the
Yeah,
most important thing about it.
yeah. As we trained shoulders yesterday together, I've never seen somebody that's enjoying a workout so much, and enjoying
yeah.
every repetition and counting and
Going on 48 years now.
yeah,
And like I said, I'm still having fun and still have the passion for it.
yeah,
And still look forward to working out each and every single day.
yeah. That's the most important thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Still looking forward to it and still having fun doing it.
yeah. So, I would say that was a good word to the end. maybe.
Yep. Sound good to me.
So thank you very much for your time.
Because I could probably go on and on.
Yeah, it was great, but I think
Yeah.
we will have a workout now. We will do
Yep.
some legs.
That sounds good. I hope we can get something to eat too.
Yeah, of course. We will have some food, and then we will have
Good old-
lunch,
good old
and then
chicken.
we will have quads and hamstrings
Yep.
trained, and then we will meet some members.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Let's do it.